This is TWiT.
Apple beat expectations for their first quarter earnings call yesterday. The company reported revenue for the quarter of $58 billion and profits of $13.6 billion. They sold 61.2 million iPhones in the quarter. Another blowout, beat not only analyst expectations, but their own. Really interesting earnings call. Shara Tipkin is a senior writer for CNET and joins us now to talk about this blowout earnings report. Welcome to you, Shara.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. iPhone revenue growth is up 55%. That's incredible. The phones are more expensive than they used to be, and they sold more of them than they used to sell. Why is it that Apple is the only company that can sell a lot more phones even as they charge a lot more?
Well, a lot of it that they're benefiting from right now is China. So the people in Asian countries tend to gravitate towards bigger screen phones, and Apple, before the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, only had smaller screen phones. So there was a lot of pent-up demand for their bigger screen devices, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. It also was the Chinese New Year in February, so they got a really big bump from that.
Hey, Shara, did Tim Cook and anyone else from the Apple team provide any clues about what they see for the future of Apple and iPhones, or are they playing it close to the vest in terms of what they see next with the iPhone?
Yeah, I mean, Apple always plays it close to the vest. They're never going to give very many details about what they're doing. People always ask, I think there was a question this time. It's their R&D has been kind of high for them recently. So people are asking, what's behind that? What are you guys investing in? What are you working on? And they just kind of give throwaway answers like, oh, we're always working on stuff. You have to wait and see.
Now, of course, iPhones were shattering records. Their Mac division shattered records. What happened with the iPad?
Oh, man, it's been really tough for the iPad. I think this was the fifth quarter in a row where sales fell. It was off more than 20%, which is just really a huge decline. Part of the reason is people are buying the bigger screen phones, so you don't really need a second tablet or, a second bigger device. There's also the reason that people, if you bought one of these a couple years ago, you really don't need to upgrade. So people are just holding on to these for a really long time. I was using the iPad 2 recently, and it still works fine. So, a lot of people are finding that they're not needing to buy the newest iPad because the changes are not drastic enough to get you to upgrade. So there's just, a lot of factors. Also, people are buying Macs instead of iPads as well, which is interesting because everyone thought, the iPad was going to kill the PC market.
Now, Shara, a quick thing. It seems to me that this decline, let's look at two products. You have the iPad, which is, declining for all the reasons you mentioned. And we have the Apple Watch, which is garnering all kinds of attention and sales, of course. And this really, I think, is the moment when it's officially no longer Steve Jobs' Apple. The iPad was really Steve Jobs' baby. He was directly and personally involved in the development of the iPad. And the Apple Watch is something he wasn't involved with, really. It was really a Johnny Ive driven project within Apple. And so now we're entering in a world where the iPad is on the decline, the Apple Watch is on the incline, and it's just a whole new Apple. And it has to be said that Steve Jobs has been gone for many years now, and it's really Tim Cook's and Johnny Ive's Apple.
Yeah, it really is. And it was really important that Tim Cook actually showed that Apple continued to innovate and that that they can make products that really change people's lives. They hadn't done that since the iPad. So the Apple Watch is really Tim Cook's stake in the ground for this. We kind of have to be cautious, though. We don't know what sales are like, and they're not planning to break out sales numbers for the Apple Watch. So it's really hard to gauge, how well this is selling, how well it's doing. Relative to iPhone is still, the past 2 quarters, it was 70% of their revenue. So it's really important for Apple to be able to expand and have another strong market. And we'll just have to see if that's going to be the watch.
Hey, Shara, it's interesting. Some of the thoughts you've shared directly parallel me as a user. So as soon as I got iPhone 6 Plus, I stopped using my tablet. I still have the original iPad, but I'm a MacBook Air and iPhone 6 Plus type of person. I may become an Apple Watch guy. We'll see. It's too early for me to say. Did Apple give any clues in terms of how they're dealing with the backlogs of Apple Watch orders? Now, I don't think they've said how many they've actually built, but have they said anything about ramping up production to just meet the orders so far?
They said they're doing everything they can to meet demand, and that they're sending emails to customers saying that they're getting their watches sooner than they were supposed to ship. What they said was they think by late June, they'll be able to have enough supply so that they can start selling this in other countries. But I mean, right now, if you order an Apple Watch today, you're not going to be getting it until June. And I think even one model is pushed to July. So, it's still going to be a little while before things catch up with how many people want these.